So I'd like to invite up to the stage, folks, our final speaker of the night. Our final speaker of the night, her name is Alison Salinas. She's a Canadian TV and PR events girl, a lover of football, baker of little things. I took this from her Twitter site. She's a cancer survivor and fighter, and the spreader of hashtag Teal Power. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Alison Salinas.
Wow, there's a lot of you guys out there. Last year, I was sitting out there with all of you, taking in my first ride experience as a supporter. I came to meet my boyfriend Tyler and one of his best friends Chris, who were taking part in their first ride. I had no clue what to expect from the weekend. I had been at the start line in Toronto earlier in the day. I knew the event was big, but I didn't understand the scope of it until I was standing there amongst the sea of yellow jerseys at the start line. Then seeing the tent city here on Saturday night. Then being right at the finish line in Niagara Falls on Sunday, cheering everyone on as they completed their epic journey. I was so moved and inspired. I knew I had to be a part of the ride in 2015. I am a cancer survivor. I am also currently a cancer fighter. In the last 2 years, I have been diagnosed with cervical cancer, given the news that I was all clear and cancer-free, and then this March, I was told the cancer had returned. My first diagnosis came on October 31st, 2013. Finding out you have cervical cancer on Halloween, talk about getting spooked. I wasn't feeling right, and I knew my body was out of whack, so I went to my doctor who sent me for tests, which sent me for more tests and a biopsy, which confirmed my diagnosis. My cancer was stage 1B1. The doctors were confident that I had caught it early, it was treatable, and I had options. But I was terrified. What did this all mean? Why now? I had regular physicals and pap smears. I even had a physical in the summer, and nothing showed up to be abnormal. I took really good care of myself. It's actually so ironic because I started my own freelance public relations company earlier that year so I could have more of a work-life balance. I wanted to start taking better care of myself and not be confined to my former crazy corporate hours. I was working out and running 4 times a week and was eating super healthy, and then bam, I get told I have cancer. I remember feeling numb. How was I going to tell my family and friends? How was I going to tell Tyler? I never thought this was something I would have to deal with at the age of 32. Having cancer, especially having cancer when you're young, forces you to make decisions in fast forward. Not knowing what to do when he heard my diagnosis, Tyler felt he had to do something right away. So he signed up that day for the 2014 ride. He said to me, "Babe, you're gonna battle this and beat this, and I'm gonna do this ride for you." That meant so much to me at the start of my journey. Over the next few months, I fought through 6 weeks of daily external pelvic radiation treatments with 5 cycles of chemo, a low dosage of cisplatin to help accelerate the radiation, and a hospital stay at PMH for brachytherapy, what I keep calling the big zap. I was hooked up to a radiation machine at the foot of my bed where I was confined to lying down, and I got zapped for 15 minutes every hour for 53 hours. It wasn't easy. My body had never felt such fatigue, but I made it through those months. From day one, I always felt reassured I was in the right hands at Princess Margaret. My radiation oncologist, Dr. Anthony Files, who I believe is here today, again riding this year. His fellow from last year, Dr. Jennifer Kirk, and my chemo oncologist, Dr. Marcus Butler. My team of doctors and my nurses Lenka and Emily have always given me amazing care, shared their knowledge, answered my million questions, made me feel comfortable, and always made sure I understood all the options available. They really are the best at what they do, and I am so lucky. So what's with this hashtag teal power? The colors for cervical cancer are teal and white. And as I was going through treatment, I noticed there wasn't much information online about young people with cervical cancer, or cervical cancer in general in Canada. So I started my blog, Teal Power Canuck, a place where I could document my journey and help raise awareness. It became my solace. People always say you never fight alone. Sharing the blog really made me realize this. My friends started sharing it with the hashtag, and I started to hear from people from all different stages in my life. People who I had met once or twice who wanted to share words of encouragement and support, and even complete strangers. On top of educating people about cancer and what I was going through, I kept hearing from people who said I inspired them to go to their doctor about that ache or pain that had been bothering them. It made me happy that the blog was making impact. Family and friends bought Teal Power bracelets to support Tyler's ride and started taking photos with them, which became viral on social media. It was totally a thing. I've always been an optimist. I try to see the good in every situation. Starting the blog made me realize I was the luckiest, unlucky person. I had an army of support that was going to help me get through my disease and my treatment. Back to last year's ride. As I stood at the start line cheering the guys on as they embarked on their journey, I noticed a bunch of riders with yellow flags on their bikes. As I asked myself what those could mean, someone came on the loudspeaker and said to cheer for the yellow flags. They are survivors. I was completely amazed. These people were like me, strong enough to do this ride. I stood at the start line and cheered every yellow flag that went past me in awe of each person on those bikes and the battle they had already been through. When I met up with the guys here in Hamilton, the first words out of my mouth to them were, "I want a yellow flag, I am doing this ride next year." They are having such a great time, total inaugural riders high, a feeling I know many of you have experienced, and why you come back each year. They agreed they would do the ride again and next year, and so planning for Team Teal Power began. I got the news in late last summer last year, cancer-free. It was an amazing feeling to know we won. We beat it. Never taking anything for granted, we went back to our daily lives, but the thought it would come back was always there. I started getting to the gym and was excited about training for the ride. I went to the bike show in the fall and picked up a beautiful new road bike and some cool new gear. I was so pumped. I was ready for my yellow flag and I was ready to join my fellow survivors in the ride. And then in the late fall, I started to experience some lower back issues. I went to my doctors. It could be anything. Residual issues from my radiation treatment, digestion issues. I went through various tests, changed my diet, tried acupuncture, naturopaths, massage therapy, went to a gastrointestinal specialist. I even had a couple of scans done in November, but nothing showed any signs of cancer. By February, the back pain became unbearable. I was unable to run, go to the gym, or even stand up long enough to cook a meal. Luckily, I knew I had a follow-up coming up at PMH. I expressed my concerns about the pain, and they sent me in for another MRI and CT scan. On March 17th, 2015, I got the results. The cancer had returned. It's worse than last time. It's inoperable, but it's treatable. I knew then and there I would have to put my dream of riding in this year's ride on hold. It was heartbreaking. This time around has been a lot scarier. There isn't a lot of information available about recurrent cervical cancer, but I'm staying positive. We chose to do aggressive chemotherapy for my treatment plan this time around. I sit in my chair for 10 hours every third Monday and spend some good time at home over the next few weeks recovering and watching a lot of Netflix. And I mean, a lot. My mom comes to keep me company every day on week 1, the days I can barely move off the couch or make it up the stairs. I'm in my third cycle of treatment, hopefully halfway through. I take each day as it comes. Some days are good, some days are bad. On the bad days, cancer is running my life, but I try not to let it take over. I pull my strength from that amazing army of friends and family who have supported me so much over the last couple years. They keep me positive. They keep me pedaling forward. I don't know what's ahead of me, if this treatment will be successful, but I remain hopeful about all the possible treatment options that may become available through the amazing research you all help raise money for. There are so many advancements coming around about immunotherapy, and there are clinical trials, new things coming up all the time that can't put a timeline on my prognosis. I feel confident that the right advancement will come at the right time should I need it, because I am a patient at one of the best cancer facilities in the world. We all have a story like mine. You all participate in this ride for the same reason. We want to see cancer conquered in our lifetime. All of these stories, these journeys, power all of you to make it through this weekend. As a patient, seeing you all out there pushing together for one goal helps make me stronger, gives me hope, and makes me feel so much gratitude. Thank you. Save lives, it's helping save mine, and will help me get better so I can finally get on my new bike and join you next year with my yellow flag proudly flying behind me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alison Salinas. I don't know how to follow that.